The 10 scariest horror movies of 2017 to watch this Halloween. Well, 2017 has brought us plenty of great scares at the movies already, and there are more to come as we inch closer to October 31st, so we're bringing you the 10 scariest ones as part of our 31 Days of Halloween countdown. The year started off with the blockbuster hit Get Out in January, and it has become the highest grossing horror movie of all time. It, 2017. It just crossed the $300 million mark at the domestic box office, and it's now the highest grossing horror movie of all time. A sequel has already been greenlit, and you can still see it in theaters. When children begin to disappear in the town of Derry, Maine, a group of young kids are faced with their biggest fears when they square off against an evil clown named Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, whose history of murder and violence dates back for centuries. Get Out. Get Out was a massive success at the box office this year, grossing $175 million at the domestic box office on just a $4.5 million budget. Now that Chris, Daniel Kaluuya, and his girlfriend, Rose, Allison Williams, have reached the meet the parents milestone of dating, she invites him for a weekend getaway upstate with Missy, Catherine Keener, and Dean, Bradley Whitford. At first, Chris reads the family's overly accommodating behavior as nervous attempts to deal with their daughter's interracial relationship, but as the weekend progresses, a series of increasingly disturbing discoveries lead him to a truth that he could have never imagined. Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day packs in both horror and humor into a fun and scary night at the movies. You can watch it in theaters starting on October 13th. Synopsis: Blumhouse produces an original and inventive rewinding thriller in Happy Death Day, in which a college student, Jessica Roth, relives the day of her murder with both its unexceptional details and terrifying end until she discovers her killer's identity. Jigsaw. Jigsaw marks the return of the Saw franchise, 13 years after it was first introduced. The movie hits theaters on October 27th. After a series of murders bearing all the markings of the Jigsaw killer, law enforcement find themselves chasing the ghost of a man dead for over a decade and embroiled in a new game that's only just begun. Is John Kramer back from the dead to remind the world to be grateful for the gift of life? Or is this a trap set by a killer with designs of their own? Split. Split was another early success at the box office this year, grossing $278 million worldwide. Writer-director-producer M. Night Shyamalan returns with an original thriller that delves into the mysterious recesses of one man's fractured, gifted mind. Though Kevin, James McAvoy, has evidenced 23 personalities to his trusted psychiatrist, Dr. Fletcher, Betty Buckley, there remains one still submerged who is set to materialize and dominate all the others. Compelled to abduct 3 teenage girls led by the willful, observant Casey, Anya Taylor-Joy, Kevin reaches a war for survival among all of those contained within him, as well as everyone around him, as the walls between his compartments shatter apart. The Belko Experiment. The Belko Experiment might not have been a massive success at the box office, but it's one of the most shocking movies you'll watch all year. Rent it now on iTunes and Amazon. Welcome to Belko Industries, a normally calm workplace that's about to devolve into a blood-soaked battle royale and a shocking case study of bone-crunching horror. When 8 American employees are suddenly locked in their office building in Bogota, Colombia, a mysterious voice on the intercom orders them to participate in a ruthless game of kill or be killed. As the terror escalates, so does the body count. Now everyone is a competitor and everyday objects become deadly weapons. Let the corporate carnage commence. Berlin Syndrome. Teresa Palmer stars in Berlin Syndrome, a terrifying movie that you probably missed in theaters. While holidaying in Berlin, Australian photojournalist Claire meets Andy, a charismatic local man, and there is an instant attraction between them. A night of passion ensues. But what initially appears to be the start of a romance suddenly takes an unexpected and sinister turn when Claire wakes up the following morning to discover Andy has left for work and locked her in his apartment. An easy mistake to make, of course, except Andy has no intention of letting her go again. Ever. Raw. Raw had a ton of buzz on the festival circuit this year, and while it never got a wide theatrical release, it has a big group of supporters. Everyone in Justine's family is a vet and a vegetarian. At 16 she's a brilliant student starting out at veterinary school, where she experiences a decadent, merciless and dangerously seductive world. Desperate to fit in, she strays from her family principles and eats raw meat for the first time. Justine will soon face the terrible and unexpected consequences as her true self begins to emerge. And Killing Ground. Killing Ground is the movie that will make you never want to go camping again. A couple's romantic camping trip becomes a desperate fight for survival in this ultra-raw, unhinged kill ride. In need of a break from the pressures of their life in the city, Sam, Harriet Dyer, and Ian Meadows, head to a remote beach for a weekend getaway. When they come across an abandoned campsite, with no trace of its occupants, they're concerned. When they discover a lone, traumatized child nearby, they're scared. And when they encounter two local sociopaths, they're in for a hell of a bad time. Weaving with unexpected twists and turns, Killing Ground delivers both nerve-shredding suspense and gut-punching realism.